Race fans, are you ready? It is time to crown the 2025 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion. Caden Honeycutt time against the 45.
Took in the wall already in turn one. That's not so sudden. He got hit back in the back. He has pancaked that right. Safety crews are on the scene, and he's going to need the hook to get back to the garage.
So that puts us under the caution flag before they really even got up to high gear, working their way up into turns 1 and 2 under the brake. It was a great start for Caden Honeycutt as he took it 3 wide to the bottom of the dog leg, came away with the 2nd spot. As we work the caution flag, Chandler Smith is being scored the race leader.
is open, this time by these crews have 5 sets of Goodyear Racing Eagles to work with, so I'd expect pit road to be a very busy place as Corey Hine will lead the charge as we go back to the Motor Racing Network.
Taking the way on the racetrack. We're going to start our pit road coverage on the back straightaway with Brad Gilly.
Majeski comes in from the 3rd position. He's had his struggles bouncing just a little bit as he went into turn number 3. It's going to be a full tire stop. One of the tire carriers has a wedge wrench in his belt.
Take a look on the left side of now.
A big mess in the back of the pack, but here comes Corey Hine, the race leader. pit lane. We begin coverage with Brad Gilly.
Championship contender Ty Majeski says his car's still tight into the corners, but he's also free everywhere. He says he can't lean into. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment for tires for Ty.
Others, including Rajat Karuth, Gio Ruggiero, will make pit stops on lap 113. Let's go to Brad Gilly first.
My end of pit road, Mike Corey LaJoy goes in there debating on whether or not to pit Tyler Redgrave. He was told by Mike Hill Jr. if no one else comes in, you're going to get tired.
running order.
So there you have it up on NASCAR.
Sledgehammer shot from Andres Perez-Delar.
It was a lot of broken gouging on the end of the back straightaway, but the one that took, I mean, there were a lot of hard hits in this accident, but the one that was the biggest was Andres Perez, who all of a sudden darted up the racetrack. He clipped Ben Rhodes and sent Ben spinning in front of them, but when Andres Perez came across the racetrack, he collected two other trucks. Gio Ruggiero was one of them. The other truck that he collected was his teammate Bailey Curry, but the way the angle of the hit of the Perez-Delara truck was, it got the truck up in the air, came back on all four wheels, but that was just a hellacious hit into that safer barrier.
Chris Wilder, you were observing on the radio. What did they say down there with Andres Perez-Delara?
Well, the good news, Alex, is immediately following that huge shunt to the outside wall, Andres Perez came over the radio and said, "I'm okay, but I definitely got messed up by the inside wall." You heard Tim Catalfamo mention how the back straightaway narrows up, and then when they get to turn 3, that inside wall, the inside safer barrier almost seems to jut out, and if you're trailing a race truck, it oftentimes will take your line of side away. And he said he misjudged it, was peeking his nose at the inside of the truck up ahead, and clipped it with the left front. That just shot the race truck all the way back to the right. So Andres Perez definitely a
We
Oh,
are
little winded,
under
but okay,
the
but
red flag.
offered his apologies to the crew after hitting the inside wall.
It's tough. That's happened in the NASCAR Cup Series too. I think it happened back here, if memory serves right, it happened back in the spring race here at Phoenix in the NASCAR Cup Series. So as we sit under the red flag, here's a look at who's getting it done out on the track here at this point in the race, presented by Craftsman. Stuck on a stubborn bolt with Craftsman Overdrive Mechanics tools, remove fasteners, rounded up to 70%. So head to craftsman.com and learn more about the tools that bring the grip, torque, and durability to keep your project moving.
NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series champion, and boy, you're going to get your money's worth here tonight. 49 outside row 1, time Majeski is inside.
Majeski slid all the way off the corner and almost dropped Corey Hart, who gets away from the race there. If Caden Honeycutt is going to win this championship, he's got to go right now. The problem is late Raceway is probably getting now straight up bear down on the race leader. He is not able to
NASCAR overtime.
Todd, you mentioned you didn't know if this would be a single overtime event. Now we're going at least to double overtime. And how good is that call now from Scott Zipadelli and Corey Heim with 4 fresh tires?
I'm going to start on the front row with 4 fresh tires versus 2. I think I'm in a great position as this comes forward. You know, this is one of those situations. Dave talked about it in our roundabout before we went green to start the day today. You can be 6, 7 wide through this tri-oval. You've got to get down to 4 wide through 1 and 2. You've got to get down to 2 or 3 wide off of 2. We got back down to 4 or 5 wide into 3. It just doesn't work.
Dave, we just had a chance to take a look at the replay here on NASCAR TV. 7 wide, looking 8 wide. What a display of intestinal fortitude.
We're going to second attempt overtime.
Championship 4 drivers on the
Double
with
overtime.
Caden Honeycutt working back there in row number 2 on the inside. Tyler Ranker managing that last wreck. He is fired back in traffic, but let's see what happens up front between these three.
Majeski slid up the racetrack and Corey Heim clear as the leader midway down the backstretch. What a drive by Corey Heim tonight. He exits turn number 2 as the final tire hits the Snaps up the